You know that certain kind of quiet? I'm not talking about the peaceful kind. I mean that eerie silence when you're walking alone at night. Suddenly every little sound, a rustle in the bushes, a car door slamming way down the street, it all sounds like a threat. It's like this primal alarm bell just starts screaming deep inside you. And today, well, we're gonna listen to that alarm.
I mean, it's a question that just sends a shiver right down your spine, isn't it? That feeling, that gut-wrenching sense that a pair of eyes is locked on you from somewhere in the shadows. It just completely bypasses all your logical thinking, right? It speaks directly to that deep animal part of your brain, your survival instincts. It's a fear we all understand.
And that's exactly what we're doing here today. Look, we're not just here to tell scary stories, not at all. We're here to really dissect them. We're gonna pull them apart piece by piece and try to understand the actual mechanics of danger. You know, the red flags our brains are wired to see and the patterns that predators almost always follow. All right, let's dive right in.
Okay, so our first case takes us down to St. Petersburg, Florida, back in 2017. This was supposed to be a totally normal, harmless night out with coworkers, but it took a seriously terrifying turn. Now this is the line that just turns your blood to ice. It's what a coworker casually admits to her the very next day, and it confirms everything. This wasn't some random accident. No, this was a planned attack. And our narrator, she just happened to be the wrong target, or maybe, just maybe, she was the right one in a plan that went completely sideways.
So picture this. The night kicks off with a totally simple, trusted gesture, right? A coworker hands her a drink. But it's not long after that, this thick, unsettling dread just washes over her. And she knows this isn't just being drunk. Her gut is screaming that something is terribly, terribly wrong. She somehow gets to her car and starts driving away, but her mind is just a scramble from whatever was in that drink. And then the impossible happens. She's at a red light and two strange men yank her locked car door wide open. She just floors it, escaping into this total blur, and the next thing she knows, she's waking up hours later, alone in her car, completely disoriented.
So the next morning, she wakes up in this drug-induced haze, and she starts questioning her own memory. You know, was any of that real? Was that attack at the red light just some kind of insane hallucination? So she goes to check her car, and what she sees is terrifyingly clear.
The plastic casing of her driver's side door handle, it's just gone. Ripped clean off. And that was it. That was the horrifying proof. It wasn't a dream. The hands that grabbed her car door were real, and their grip was so incredibly strong that when she sped away, she literally tore the handle right out of their grasp. This was the physical evidence that screamed her gut feeling was right all along. She was in mortal danger.
All right, let's shift gears for our second case. We're moving away from the city streets and into the deceptive quiet of nature after dark. We're talking about a scout trip in a place that feels totally different once the sun goes down. So in the daytime, these dunes are a super familiar, safe spot. You know the vibe, families, kids running around, people walking their dogs. But at night, oh, it's a completely different world. It becomes pitch black, it's easy to get lost, and that whole feeling of safety just evaporates into the darkness. And this is the setting for the group's terrifying encounter.
So as a group of these older scouts are hiking through the dark, one of them just stops dead. Did you guys hear that? He swears he heard rustling in the bushes. The others just kind of brush it off. It's just the wind, even though it's a still night. But this is the first little sign, that first subtle signal that they are not alone out there.
It's only when they finally meet up with their friends, who are waiting for them up on a ridge, that the horrifying truth comes out. See, their friends who were waiting behind, they saw it all. They said right after the hiking group left the ridge, this man, dressed all in black, just appeared. He was standing in the exact spot they had just been, and he was just staring in the direction they went. He was following them.
And here's the detail that really makes this so deeply unsettling. The man was moving through these pitch black, really treacherous dunes with no flashlight. I mean, ask yourself, why would anyone be out there in total darkness without a light? There's really only one logical and absolutely terrifying answer. He didn't want to be seen. His purpose out there was anything but innocent.
Okay, our final story is all about the violation of a routine. We're talking about a simple 7-minute walk home, something a young bartender had done hundreds, maybe thousands of times. A walk she always thought was safe until one night it wasn't.
So it all kicked off with a regular at the bar, a guy named Jared.
He was always kind of persistent, asking a lot of personal questions. Then one night, she politely turns down his offer to hang out. And watch how fast this happens. His whole friendly guy mask just drops. Instantly, he forces this tight smile, mumbles, "Yeah, whatever," and just storms out without tipping. That sudden angry shift, that is a massive, massive red flag.
A little later, he confronts her on her walk home. After she rejects him again, he starts to follow her, and it turns into this sick, terrifying game. She speeds up a little. He speeds up too. She slows down, and he slows down. See, he's not just following her, he's mirroring her. He's showing her in the creepiest way possible that he's in control, that she can't get away from him. He's enjoying her fear.
Somehow, she makes it to her apartment building, but he follows her right inside. She scrambles to her apartment and slams the lock just a split second before he reaches her door. And then, a moment later, wham, his entire body smashes against it. The impact literally shakes the whole wall. He hits it again and then again, trying to break it down. The stalking has just escalated into a full-blown physical attack.
Okay, so we've got 3 different people, 3 totally different settings, and 3 absolutely terrifying encounters. But here's the thing, they are not nearly as different as they might seem. Now we're going to connect the dots. We're going to decode the very clear danger signals that were present in all of these stories.
So this is the really crucial question, right? What's the pattern here? What is the playbook that these predators all seem to be reading from? Because believe me, there is one. Let's break it down.
Okay, first up, isolate the target. The driver was drugged, separated from her friends. The scouts were a tiny group in the middle of nowhere. The bartender was walking home alone. Step 2, test the boundaries. That was Jared getting too personal, or the figure in the dunes getting closer. Then, step 3, escalate the aggression. That's the car door being yanked open, or Jared starting to mirror the bartender's pace. And finally, the end game is to overwhelm and attack, which is exactly what we saw when Jared tried to break down that apartment door.
And these are the actions that trigger that gut feeling we've been talking about. See, your intuition isn't some kind of magic sixth sense. It's pattern recognition. Your brain is picking up on these massive red flags. Things like forced familiarity, like Jared getting way too personal. Those sudden mood shifts right after being told no, completely ignoring that rejection, mimicking your movements as a form of intimidation, or just an unexplained presence, like a guy with no flashlight wandering around in the dark. Your brain processes all of this in a split second and just screams, danger.
This quote actually comes directly from the survivor of that first story, the drug driver. She says listening to her gut is the only reason she's still here today. And honestly, this is the single most important lesson we can take from all 3 of these harrowing experiences.
That feeling deep in your gut, that sense of dread, that little voice in your head telling you something is just wrong, that is not paranoia. It is a highly evolved, finely tuned survival mechanism, and it's designed for one purpose and one purpose only, to keep you alive. So often we're taught to ignore it, right? To be polite, to not make a scene, but these stories, they teach us the exact opposite.
So I'll leave you with this question. After hearing these stories, and after seeing these patterns laid out so clearly, just take a moment. What is your intuition telling you right now? Because the next time you feel that little prickle of fear on the back of your neck, the real question is, will you listen to it?